I don't even know how to start this. I'm kind of really getting sick of starting every one of my videos with, I know I haven't uploaded in a while, because you know it and I know it, so we'll just all get over the fact that I will never be a proper YouTuber who has a regular uploading schedule. I'll never be an influencer, but I do really enjoy making videos from time to time, and the sun is coming out right now, and honey, Jesus fucking Christ, ow, my eyes. Today, right now, this content is not scripted. I do usually script my videos. If you didn't know that, then now you know, your life is different now. But this is completely unscripted. I was thinking about doing a pasta and procrastination, but then I got too hungry and ate already, so we're here right now. I still have some soup right here that is indeed very delicious. I'm gonna admit, as you might be able to tell, I'm a little off today. It's just, you know, it's just one of those days. One of those days where you're like, I'm not really here, I'm not really here, you know, I'm just somewhere else. But I made it out of bed, which was nice, and I did a couple of things that I kind of wanted to do, which is good, and I got some food, which is also very nice. But since it is right now for me, and maybe for you, hopefully not, a kind of a more, you know, low day, as I like to call them, I thought I would just talk about a little thing that I read about in a Twitter thread very recently, and I felt like making a video about it because it really spoke to me on an emotional and on a mental level. The thing I'm talking about is the impossible task. Now, I had never really thought of it that way, but reading the thread, and don't worry, I'm going to read you bits of it very soon, it kind of like opened my eyes, and I was like, hey, wow, that actually makes sense, and I can relate to this, and I'm sure that a lot of people can relate to that as well. I'm pretty sure that it's not just me. And so basically the thread, I'm gonna see if I can like link it down in the description below if anybody here is interested. It starts as follows. Depression commercials always talk about sadness, but they never mention that sneaky symptom that everyone with depression knows all too well, the impossible task. So I don't necessarily, I'm not saying that I'm like depressed or anything, because I'm 100% not. Not saying that I don't have like issues sometimes, but I mean, who doesn't? Everybody has days where they just feel shit and where they can't get out of bed, and it's just kind of a shit day or a shit week. So as I was reading through the thread, I was actually like initially thinking, okay, I'm probably not going to be able to relate to this, and I just read through it, and it actually made me realize that I do know what this person is talking about, which is why I think it's not necessarily just related to depression, but to most mental health issues in general. But without further ado, I'm just gonna give you a bit of a like insight what this person is talking about, and then talk about my whole issue with the whole thing, and then maybe give some tips and advice, because I'm your new lifestyle guru that's eating Vietnamese soup and talking about mental health, apparently. This is a mental health channel now, everybody. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe page. So, I'm gonna read now. The impossible task. The impossible task could be anything. Going to the bank, refilling a prescription, making your bed, checking your email, paying a bill. From the outside, its sudden impossibility makes zero sense. However, the impossible task is rarely actually difficult. It's something you've done 1,000 times. For this reason, it's hard for outsiders to have sympathy. Why don't you just do it and get it over with? It would take you like 20 minutes and then it would be done. Yeah, we know. So this is kind of how this whole thread starts, and now I'm gonna add my thoughts to it. So this kind of like hit me in the face like an unexpected dick. It just kind of, it hit me, and I was like, wow, I get what this person is talking about. I know what this feels like, because to me, I've always, you know, in general, referred to it as procrastination. And I think that if procrastination is basically just another word for it. But I do think that there's like a fine line between what this person is calling the impossible task and procrastination. Because with procrastination, I'd say it's rather when you've got something to do that is, I'm sorry, I'm just burping the whole time, I don't even know why. But like you've got something to, like you have something on your to-do list. For example, study for an exam, right? And you just keep pushing it further away. It's like, that's procrastination, you know? That's when you're like, I don't really feel like doing it now. There are like 1,000 other things that I could be doing that are more fun, like staring at a blank wall, for example, and I'm just gonna do it last minute. Like, mostly procrastination to me relates to things where I just don't really want to do them, right? I just don't really feel like doing them because they're either annoying or not that interesting, or there are other things that are much more fun to do. So that's what I kind of see procrastination as. The point where I always got confused and still get confused is when I actually procrastinate things that I want to do, or things that I just should be doing because they're necessary, things that are, you know, should be done on a daily basis and everybody else does them, and it's not really a chore, it's not really a task, it's not really work, it's just something you do. For example, and I've mentioned this in one of my other videos, like brushing my teeth, or taking a shower, or eating breakfast, or I don't know, like opening the blinds, like just doing stupid things, you know, that where anybody else would go like, why don't you just do it? Like, how like, what do you mean you don't brush your teeth? Like, what do you mean? And that's why, you know, it's kind of hard to talk about these things, because other people just go, well, that's just weird, you know. It takes like, brushing your teeth takes like 2 to 3 minutes, you know. It's not a task. It doesn't require any effort. It doesn't require much energy. Like, having a shower like takes like 5 minutes. But still, these things, when you refer to them as the impossible task, like this lovely person does in their post, it makes more sense to refer to them like that, in my opinion, because it is like she's saying, you just have these simple things that everybody else does, and you know, you should do too, but on these kind of off days or off weeks, whatever, or when you're depressed, or when you have anxiety, or whatever kind of shit you're going through, or mental, you know, health issue you're struggling with, these things just literally become impossible. And I think it's so good to label them that way. Not saying that the actual issue is good, but just the word of, like, wording it as an impossibility, I think makes so much sense, because it's not something that you don't want to do, it's not something that you're like scared of doing, it's just you can't do it. You know, you could just get up and go to the bathroom and take your toothbrush. You know, you could just get up and take the letter and post it. You know, you could just get up and water your flowers. You know, you could just get up and call your grandma. It's not an effort, it's not something that's hard, but you just don't do it. You don't do it. And you know that you're not doing it, but it doesn't really matter to you that much either, because it's like, I don't, you know, it doesn't really harm me in any way if I don't do it, so it's fine. But I think the problem starts at a point where it actually does start harming you. Whether you get fucking cavities because you're not brushing your teeth, which, God bless, didn't happen to me. I don't know how I managed to do that, but what I'm talking about is, for example, like she mentions in her post, not renewing your prescription, or like not calling friends and family, not getting back to them. And this is something I've talked to a friend before, where the exact same thing happened to her, where her anxiety and like this impossible task of renewing her meds just got so big that she just didn't do it, and is still kind of struggling because of that. And it's something so ridiculous that you don't even want to talk to your friends about it. Maybe you don't even want to address the issue because you're kind of embarrassed about it, and you just kind of are worried that people might see you as a freak, or like just think that you're weird, you know, because it is weird. Like, I know that it's weird, and she knows that it's weird, and everybody who has these impossible tasks knows that it's weird, because you're like, you just do it, but you don't, and talking about it, it just feels like it doesn't help. And on days like these, or months or years like these, it's just kind of a bit of, like, just a big bowl of struggle puffs, to put it that way, to actually do the thing that you can't do. And, you know, it's taken me a long time to realise that it's okay to talk about these things, you know, that I don't have to be embarrassed, because you actually, like, once you start talking about it, you find out that a lot of other people struggle with that issue too, and that it's not just related to you or what you might be going through right now mentally, but that everybody to some extent has their little impossible task and will be able to sort of relate. And I'm going to quote the lovely thread once again, because I thought that what she wrote there was also very helpful. If you currently have one or more impossible tasks in your life, be gentle with yourself. You're not a screw-up. Depression is just an asshole. Impossible tasks are usually so dumb that it's embarrassing to ask for help, but the people who love you should be glad to lend a hand. And I think that's the thing that's most important to remember, which is hard, you know. It kind of sucks sometimes, because you're like, you don't want to be a burden. That's the thing with most mental health issues. You just kind of always, your brain tells you that by talking about it, you're just being a burden, because people won't be able to relate to you, people won't be able to help you, people won't care, people will think that you're weird, which isn't the case, because your friends are your friends, and your family is your family, and they love you, and they want to help you. You know, your therapist just wants to help you. It's fine. Like, nobody thinks you're weird. It's just all in your head. So apparently that's the exact moment my camera decided to die, which I guess is kind of a good and motivational ending, that it's just, you know, all in your brains, and it's not real, and you should just honestly go talk to somebody, as soon as you're comfortable doing that. And it's okay if you don't immediately want to go talk to somebody, because sometimes it's easier to kind of figure it out yourself first, because that might already help. But if you know that it won't help, and if you notice that it's not going away, and there's a lot of impossible tasks or many more mental health issues in your life, you should definitely go talk to somebody. And if you're uncomfortable talking to family and friends, which is understandable on some level, just go talk to a professional. It's honestly a good idea, and the only thing it will ever do is help you. Yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to say. I'm sorry, this is a mess. It's the day after, and I still look exactly the same, so you can tell that it's a low phase, but that's okay. Sometimes you just have to lay low for a minute and let your brain figure out its shit and its chemistry. I hope you liked this little video. Let me know what you think about it if you have thoughts. Make sure to, you know, smash that like button, and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll see you again soon. Bye!